at this point, we're friends, y'all. Y'all know all of my business. For those of you that are new here, my name is Janika Lachey, and I don't know why, but for some reason I've been feeling drawn and led to tell y'all my business and share my story. It must be for somebody, because it's not for me, because I already didn't live through it and made it through. But y'all bear with me for this one. It's gonna be some highs and lows, ups and downs. It is trigger warning in this video about abortion. So that is, you can't handle that kind of topic or conversation, you may want to go ahead and scroll on off now. And I thank you. We thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit. But y'all bear with me on this one. So on the last video I made, I told y'all how being a stripper transformed or elevated my relationships with men forever. My relationships with men and my mindset on what I can attract and experience in relationship with a man has forever been changed because of my experience as a former exotic dancer. And I love that for myself. That is great. That is phenomenal. In this video, I'm going to share with y'all what happens next, okay? The continuation of that story now that I have this new, found knowledge about, what I can experience, and I leveled up my self-worth and, just what I wanted to be able to ask and receive. That's what I learned, how to ask and receive from men in relationships. And the good thing is I am free enough in my journey, in my story, in my truth, to be able to share with y'all without caring about your judgment or what you have to say. I am free, and I love that for me. So whoever this is for, here you go. So this story starts out with I met a retired professional baseball player. Okay, so he's an older gentleman, and he's a baseball player, pro baseball player, but he's retired now. And I met him at the strip club. Now, I definitely went against, my usual and my rules, because I don't talk to men at the strip club. I don't get their numbers. I don't engage with them in that way. However, at this point in time, I was more experienced, and I felt comfortable with the situation. Now, in this case, I went back to the strip club. Like, I had already gotten out the strip club, and I was working in real estate, and I went back to the strip club. Now, the reason why I went back to the strip club was because I was working on a deal, and the deal was already being delayed, and it ended up not going through. So I needed some money like yesterday, and I was in a tight spot. Like, it was a really tight spot. Like, I didn't know what else to do. I didn't even give myself time to think. It was just like, I got bills to pay. I got things I need to do, and I need some money like right now. So I reverted back to what I know, and I went back to the club for one day. And he happened to be there that day. It was that I went to a club during the daytime. There's a club I had worked at before, one of my clubs that I would rotate. And he was there. And the thing is, looking back on it now, y'all, like, if I had just taken a moment to gather myself and think and come up with a creative solution, which is what I did, and after I went through all this hell, which y'all gonna hear about, but I actually ended up coming up with a creative solution within real estate and made way more money like that. But at the time, it was tight, and I was just like trying to fulfill a need. So we're at the club, and this relationship was very much codependent. It was a codependent relationship. I had a need, and he had a need too. Okay. So in his case, he was just getting out of his marriage that he was in. And y'all, this relationship happened really, really fast. Like, it happened fast. In the beginning, he'll give me money. He took care of my needs. I took care of him. We took care of each other. he yeah, I'm not even kidding. Like, this relationship happened so fast, and like from beginning to end, it was like within a few months. It was really quick. And I would say, like, even within the first few weeks, he put me and my son in his will. So it it was crazy. Like, he put me and my son in his will. He threw me a big birthday party and all of those things. So you could say that in the beginning of the relationship was great. Then it took a turn, and the turn looked like, just on his side, like self-sabotage. And again, it was codependent. And like, whenever you get with somebody out of need or codependency, you almost always choose wrong. So it's no surprise here that this did not work out. But so everything's going great. So he like made up this whole story that he had to relocate out of Texas for work or whatever. And so anyway, fast forward, it came back that he told me that he made it all up. And he made it up because he was afraid that I was going to leave him. And I know it don't make no sense me telling y'all that, because it didn't make no sense when he said it to me. And it was just like, what? So now I'm like, pulling away, because it's like, it's just feeling like mind games. Like, why are you playing games with me like that? Why would you make up something like that? Like, that's just weird. So here goes the trigger warning. I find out that I'm pregnant. And I remember feeling like, initially when I found out I was pregnant, I remember feeling like excited, like, oh my God, I'm pregnant, I have a baby. Because at that time, it had been like over a decade since I had my son. So I was just wondering if I still could even get pregnant, because I just hadn't been pregnant in so long. And so I was excited about that. I'm like, oh my God, I have a baby. It's a life, it was exciting. But then it was like immediately, right after that excitement, it just instantly died with the thought of, I cannot have a baby by him. And the reason why was because by that time, all the controlling and the mind games started to show up. And when I think about my future and long term, I'm like, I cannot see myself co-parenting a child with this man for the next 18 years or so, or for life, really. Children are forever. Even after 18, you're still involved. So at that point, he knows I'm pregnant, and this is when the chase begins. And he's like, he apologized for making up that story or whatever, and he's telling me he wanted to be with me. And he's sending me pictures. He's out looking, shopping for a big 2-story house for us or whatever, and telling me that he'll give me like $5,000 a month allowance and all these things. So, but like it just wasn't worth my peace. I'm like, okay, that's cool, thank you, but just the thought of having a child with him was just, I feel like I would be miserable. And I did not want to be a single mother again. Like, I already did that, when I was a teen mom. I didn't want to go through that again, being a single mom. And so he would like tell me, he was like, every time he would call me, he'd be like, he's sick. Or one time he told me he got stabbed. And it was like every time we talked, he was always on his bed of affliction. I'm like, you are draining me right now. Like all these ups and downs and inconsistencies. I'm like, no. So I made the decision to have the abortion. And it was like the hardest decision of my life. Like, it was definitely not something that I took lightly. And I don't want to ever go through that again. That was my first time experiencing that, and I don't want to ever experience it again. It was horrible. And I hate that it was even a decision that I had to make, in a situation I put myself in with that person. And he told me, he begged me not to have the abortion. After I did it, he told me he wished I hadn't did that. He was in the hospital then, like he was sick. I don't think he was really sick, y'all. He was just wanted my attention. It was too much. But I definitely know that it was the best decision for me. and I don't have any regrets about it, but it still makes me sad, like thinking about it, you know, because it was a life, it's a baby, and I feel like it was a little girl too. But for me, I'm like, I could not see myself being in that situation. I feel like I would have been more miserable if I had been tied to him in that way by having a child. So that's my story, y'all. I tried to make it like quick and juicy and lump it up all together because I don't want to keep y'all too long. But yeah, y'all tell me if y'all had a crazy story where y'all had to put on them track shoes and get on up out of there. So y'all know what to do. Go and get the conversation started in the comments, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.